Hi, I'm Rich Markham, Senior Leader with the DevOps practice of Orasi Consulting. I just finished a project with a client that provides financial services and risk management software for roughly 100 clients. This client wanted to understand exactly where they were on the DevOps journey. They hired us because they were having challenges with predictability of moving software across all of their environments. They wanted us to assess their process, their tools, and their environments, and their organization to understand how to create the predictability and improve their current process. The original scope was to assess the DevOps pipeline specifically, and the project transitioned into much more of an organizational assessment and much more of a project to help them understand the difference between what they had in place and a true DevOps organization. So our approach with this client was a series of interviews across the organization to understand exactly what was causing the pain points that they were experiencing in the pipeline. It took us 6 weeks to complete the assessment and provide the recommendations. We interviewed over 30 people, which covered roughly 12 to 15 departments. We executed our agile delivery process and delivered the final recommendation in a series of iterative recommendations. We started by aligning on the current state. We then aligned on the problem statements and the influencers. Finally, we came back together in the big group environment with the executives, and we laid out a roadmap with very detailed recommendations for the next year and a half, as well as quick wins which they've begun to implement immediately. We also found that they had 55 tools across their DevOps landscape. We also identified that the life cycles for the products were different depending on whether or not you were in the development environment, the QA environment, UAT, or production. They needed to all be the same, and they needed to standardize on a single set of tools that didn't care about which environment and which platform the end solution lived. We identified an opportunity to standardize and simplify the tool sets and the process to create an architecture agnostic pipeline for the future. We also identified opportunities to improve their current state with some quick wins related to migrating quickly to an infrastructure as code solution that would reduce the complexity of the current platform as a service option they had in place. At this client, they talked about DevOps, but they still only had a DevOps team within operations, and they had development and QA totally separated. In order for DevOps to be successful, you really have to merge development and operations from the beginning. You have to have the teams working together to understand that the software is not just an asset that you push over the wall for then someone else to deploy and manage. We recommended that they not look to just change the organizational structure, but that they look to change the way they operate, the way they work. So we didn't change who anyone reported to. We didn't change the structure from a standpoint of the IT organization, but we said every project needs to have an operations resource present on that project from the beginning. Every project needs to be a blend of operations, QA, and development from the beginning. This project was a success for Orasi because we enabled our client to understand exactly where they were on their DevOps journey. We gave them a roadmap for moving to the next stage of maturity. We gave them quick wins that enabled them to improve their development pipeline and process immediately. And we laid out a strategy and a series of strategic questions and decisions that needed to be made to finalize the DevOps journey. The feedback that we got was that the project was incredibly successful because it helped them understand exactly what they had and where they were and where they needed to go.